Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, Eddie's World of Figures. Today, I have a very special figure in my collection. This is the one and only Mirko from My Hero Academia. And this isn't just any particular figure, this is the one from Revoltech. Now, I actually pre-ordered this figure months ago and finally came in. I'm gonna say I've had this in my collection for about good 2.5 months. There was some problems with shipping, it getting imported over here with customs, but very happy that I finally have this figure now. I will happily say that I paid around MSRP for this because I pre-ordered it again. It was around about 65 ducks. ducks. 65 bucks. Anyhow, yeah, shipping wasn't that bad either. So roughly, I paid all the way up to about $79 all the way for this figure. Now it does sit significantly more than it is when I got this figure. Um, I knew this figure was very popular. The character itself is pretty cool from what I saw. This character had a very short screen time. I say short screen time, but there isn't much screen time for this character in the show. But the time that she does appear in the show, boy, does she make a mark. I'm kind of, I don't know if anybody else, pretty sure, but I just like this character's attitude and personality that she brought to the show. Um, she is one tough cookie, that's for sure, and she's definitely no slouch. And she'll definitely let you know, and then put the hurt along with these strong legs. But other than that, I really like what they did here. But that's enough of my little banter for this intro. Let's get on with the actual review. All right, guys. I'm going to start with this really nice box that they have for Revoltech. So, as you guys saw in my previous videos, especially with SS Fig Arts, Revoltech always takes a different approach to their packaging. So, what I like, although it doesn't have any of the windows like SS Fig Arts has, it does have this nice photo of the figure in action. Although it's just one photo, it makes its mark. Like it lets you know what you're about to get into with this figure. I like that it has the nice Revoltech logo here, the name of the character at the bottom, and what I've noticed, and this is my very first Revoltech figure, may not be the last. We shall see in the future. But it does seem to have some type of authentication sticker, at least there to let you know this is an official figure by this line. I'm going to rotate the box here to the side. You guys can see we have yet another Revoltech logo here, another picture of the figure in action, and the name. I'm going to go to the back here, and boy, does it have some goodies on the back for display. So, again, up top has the character's name, Revoltech to let you know what line this is, a good static pose of the figure, all the accessories that are coming in this box, even though it doesn't have an open um, display, still let you know what you're getting yourself into. I haven't even opened the box. I appreciate that little touch. More action poses to let you know what this figure can do. Another authentication seal. I like that that's there because there are quite a few bootlegs out there, and I would hate for my audience to get a hold of a pretty crappy bootleg. Bootlegs have gotten pretty good over the years, but if you're spending your hard-earned money, I say go for the real deal, and that's what this is. So we're going to spin this round to the side with the camera you guys can see. So we have more pictures of the figure, but this is a close-up of the faceplate here. Two here. Really nice faceplates. We'll get into all that once I get fully into the review. On the bottom, not really much to say, just some legal stuff and letting you know this is a choking hazard because of the small parts that come with this. And at the top, it just continues from that single picture on the top, letting you know this is My Hero Academia. Once again, Revoltech on the right side of it. But yeah, I also like that there is a tape seal here to let you know if you receive this package and it's been opened up, you're gonna know. Sealed at the bottom here. Yeah. All right. That's enough of the box. All those really nice. Let's move on to the accessories. All right, guys. So for the price that this figure was at launch, like at pre-order, this is quite a bit for this figure here for the price that I originally paid at least. Comes with a nice stand, so you can do a lot of aerial action poses here. And this is their very own stand. I'm sure you can use this stand with other figures too. Just want to point that out. This isn't a stand that's made specifically for this figure here. Comes with some optional hands here. We have looks like her open hands here, like she's getting ready to grip something. Her me bringing this in a little closer, you guys can see it's very clear. But looks like she has just like her hands, like she's waving out to get something. Um, her semi-closed hands, so she can kind of put them on her hips. Closed fists. I've already kind of swapped out the closed fist that comes on the figure already with that hand that goes on her left arm. You guys can see here. And I do like how they have the hand placement here, where you can just kind of put it like on something like a little peg system here, like a little rack. I do like that little touch still. There's our pointing finger, and here are her 5 additional face plates here. She has her smiling face, her I'm gonna kick your butt face. It's on. Her like, what do you think you're about to do? You're not about to get me. Looks like her cheerful face and her neutral face. And this neutral face actually comes on the figure out of the package. Since I've already had mine out of the package, I have her. This is honestly my favorite faceplate, as you can see that I've already had it on the figure. But this is kind of like her chill, you can't beat me face. I like that face. Yeah, the detail in the face are really good. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. If you guys are wondering about this paper here, it was when she comes in the package, they wrap her in this paper. And it's just to protect the figure from any potential paint chips or anything like that during shipment. I do appreciate that little touch. And the care that was put into this figure, I do appreciate that. Another thing I want to touch on is the extra hairpiece, the front bangs. And this is kind of like a little aerial hairpiece, like she's getting ready to kick through the air or launch herself. This is what this for. I'm glad they included that, so I can at least change that out if I want to do different scenes and things like that from the show. Very nice touch. But yeah, as far as accessories and things that come in this package here, that's pretty much what you get. But in my opinion, this is pretty good. Pretty good. I do wish they could have maybe included some like effect parts, like some explosions or something like that. But it's getting kind of hard to get accessories like that in these packages now. The amount of the line, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just costly, but hey, you get what you can now. But not really complaining. Overall, it's a good figure so far. But all right, let's get into the actual figure articulation now. I've gone and put her closed fist back on the left arm here, and her neutral face. And what I want to do is eventually I just want to show you guys how these face plates and things like that kind of work with the Revoltech. They're a lot different from the other SS Figuarts figures that I've shown so far. But yeah, let's go on with the articulation here. So Let's see if she can do splits here. She can almost do the full splits. Get there. Get some really nice kicks in, just like she could in the show. She has some really nice, let's see, leg joints here. You guys can see the leg can come all the way up that far. And unlike the newer SS Fig Arts where the crotch area here, right here, tends to be that newer soft plastic, this is hard plastic. So it does obstruct the articulation going up just a tad because it does get caught right about right there. That's where it gets caught in. But it doesn't hurt the figure at all from what I'm seeing as far as getting those high kicks in. Let's see how far back she can go. Not that far at all, which I'm really disappointed in. Depending on like this whole character's premise is kicking, so for her to only go that far back, that kind of sucks. That really does suck in my opinion. And if you guys seeing in the back right here, I I really don't know how I feel about that. I get the purpose of it. It was for the stand. If you want to do like some aerial attacks to her, I wish they just kind of left that alone or included like a second piece where you can swap this out. That would have been nice aesthetic wise, but yeah, I'm just not liking that. It's ugly when you're taking pictures from the back unless you have the stand back there. But um, yeah, that's my little gripe there so far. What I just seen. But yeah, as back on this leg, you're coming up from the upper thigh up to the hip here. Yeah, I don't like that. It's getting stopped right here. I don't like that at all. Like that. Fix the camera focus issue. You guys can see better. Yeah, see a lot better. And I would be careful moving the lead back and forth because the paint does, excuse me, putting her butt in the camera like that. But I just want you guys to see the way the paint application is, the way it comes down. It's nice. But I do feel like over time, constantly moving this figure around with the legs is going to wear that down with the paint. Yeah. Still a cool design, but I wish this could have been implemented a little bit different. All right. A little bit further down, I know you guys are noticing these slits here on the lower thigh. That does not move. Um, I was a little confused when I saw this figure, how it kind of was missed the line right there. And what I saw, and I did research on it because I was like, oh man, I must got a defective figure. Apparently, this is just how it's molded in the legs. And I haven't really seen anybody talk about this at all. But, and it's probably just my attention to detail there again. But it's like, hey, I spent money on this. I'm going to freaking investigate this figure. But, it seems like that's just how they designed it. Everybody seems to be like that. It's just the way it is. I wish they could have just copied what they did here because this is flush and just put it over here. Like I don't know. I don't know. My little gripes here. Um, the knee joints. I don't know what the heck was going on with the plastic here. I wish they could have made it. I know that. So let me say this: the lower thigh, where her like her I don't know what to call this. I guess this would be like her stockings or whatever you would say this is that she has on her legs. It's painted. This is paint. So is this right here, like her little her thigh band with the gold paint on it. That's painted. I I know why they didn't. Well, my guess why they didn't paint it here is because they didn't want it to rub off over time. But I wish they could have gotten the plastic a little bit closer to what the paint is at least. And it's just when you actually look at it, it is a bit of an eyesore. Get my camera to focus here. I'm on the camera. Cooperate. All right, 1 second, guys, as I fix my camera. I'll be right back. All right, got the camera to focus. Somewhat. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. But yeah, you guys can see that quite better now, how it's like a slight purple color. Like, I don't know what the heck. I don't know. I wish they could have did a little bit better with that too. There's some more things I'm finding with this figure the more I investigate. But another thing that I noticed on my specific copy of this figure is my freaking ankle peg here is coming loose. Like, yeah, I can push it back in and then it'll kind of seat back in like it's supposed to. But any freaking subtle movement, like at the ankle, like pulling out, you see how it's separating? Ah, and I still like this figure, but it's definitely having its weird issues. It's definitely having. I don't know if anybody else is having this issues. Let me down in the comments if you have this figure and you're experiencing these things with this particular figure. Um, the one on the right, it's perfect. Like I can, it's tight. As you guys can hear, it's real tight. There's no issue. I do wish I might have to put a little bit of oil there because that is very tight. But this freaking right leg, what was that? Oof. Ooh. Knocked their bang off. Let me put that back on. Here we go. On there. It is not. There we go. All right. As I was saying, yeah, the freaking the left ankle joint here with the swivel tight. It's nice. Just needs to be oiled a little bit because you don't want to mess that up or it break off. But I don't know what the heck. All right. Other than that, the articulation is pretty good in the legs. Sorry, I'm just kind of distraught that that's coming apart now. Like, I got to figure out how to fix that. But onto the feet. She does have some nice articulation when it comes to the feet. Let me be careful. You know what? That's coming out. Oh. All right. I am back. All right. Got it back in. I gotta figure out how to fix that. I have to order like another joint. Anyhow, back to the foot. I'm gonna do this one instead, so I don't further mess this other leg up. I'm gonna do left leg instead. But the toe swivel, pretty decent. Comes in that far. Same thing on this foot here. Thing. I'm gonna try not to move it too much and make that joint fall back out. All right, on the arms, she can do a full T pose. There's some really good shoulder joint articulation going on here. I like the way the design is. This is top notch. Like this is amazing. She can come even further up. Look at there. Look at there. And there's butterfly joints in here. Look at there. There's butterfly joints in there. This technology. Her arm does do, move her head out of the way. Long hair. These joints are tight. So if you're having problems, this is my first time like really messing with this figure, you might have to oil the joints. But her arm does rotate full 360. Same thing on the right. Back up from the camera. Yep, full 360 here. Yeah, some really nice elbow joints here. Show you guys the forearm. Doesn't go as far in as I would hope. It doesn't do the full 45, but it's good enough. Go. And the forearm does have some swivel into it, so it does rotate. I do like that tension. Same thing for the upper joint here. This is it's a swivel joint, so it does swivel. You can move it and rotate it as you want. Same thing for the left arm here. For the wrist peg, not too bad. The ball joint itself, and you can rotate it a full 360 to be. Although, be very careful. It does, my copy at least does get a little caught up in there when I'm rotating, and it's very tight. So just be mindful when you're trying to rotate the swivel there, not to snap this little thing. Back on. I am noticing that the glove part up here does have slight. Make sure I'm looking at this. It does have slight movement. I don't know if it's supposed to move. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna move mine too much because I don't want to risk breaking it. This figure is gotten quite expensive because it seemed like they only made so many. But trying to be careful here, and my bang's coming back out. Put that back in. There we go. All right. The upper chest area. Let's see. It does have some articulation here. She can actually look up that far with it. It's a bit tight. It does move with the abdominal area or abs. So there's a little bit of movement. You can swivel it all the way to the right, all the way to the left, coming up. Some really good range. Coming down, pretty decent. Although when you do it, it does leave this ugly little gap here showing the joint. So it seems as though like everything is good from the front, but like when you're trying to pose this figure in the back, like I see if you're like she's moving away from the camera or such, you're gonna have some time editing that out. You know, if you're trying to make it look pretty. All right, lower abdominal area does have some really good articulation. She can do a full 360 here. Some really good range as far as moving inwards like that. Let's see. And again, when you do a full ab crunch with this figure, it does leave this ugly gap showing the joint there, just like the top up here by the upper back. Yeah, some strange design choices, but I don't know. I'm not a toy creator or anything like that, so I don't know what could have been done different to maybe, I guess, hide that a little bit better, but not sure. I'm noticing also when she's looking up all the way, it does expose a little bit of some articulation here. I say articulation, but it is showing a little bit of gap here as well. When you put it back down, it does look flush. So once it's you're not bothering this figure at all. Let's see, you got things flush. It does look amazing, but like once you start actually trying to pose this figure, that's when the issues start coming through the cracks, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. As far as the head scope and the neck, it does. Whoa, she came out. I hope this figure isn't falling apart in my hands in front of you guys. Oh man, let me pop that back in. At least it came back in easy. This is probably like my first figure I've ever had like do this, where it's just falling apart like this. But let's carry on. Let's carry on. I still like the figure, you know. But looking down goes that far to her chin, touching the collar. I do like that the hair does have these ball swivels in it, where you can actually articulate the hair for better movement of the neck range. So once you do move the hair pieces up, there are two. Once you do move them up, you can actually move the neck and the head all the way up to this point here. but as far as she can go, which is still actually pretty good that they done that. The neck itself does have some good swivel with it. Let me not pop the head out. The head, I'm noticing the head joint does pop out pretty easy. As you guys can see, this is what they chose to do. Just a ball and socket. Just pops in there. It's pretty smooth. So if it does fall out, you can easily put it back in there. Right. So real quick on the hair bangs, they did sculpt it to have these little two slots here where you can just kind of peg that in as such, where you can swap it out. I do like that. But yeah, as far as articulation, not bad. Oh, the knees. I haven't touched on the knees. She can bend her knee in, see, pretty much all the way to her calf touching her inner thigh, which is really good. And they do have some sculpting there for it to rest smoothly in, as you guys can see, like that. So yeah, she can definitely like squat down and get ready for a good pounce that she does. Kick the crap out of you. Yeah. All right. That's enough articulation. Let's go on to design of this little character. All right, guys. On to the design of this figure. I would say it's actually really good in depicting this character from the anime. I really like what they did here, especially when it comes to the paint application. You guys can see here, the paint is it's really good. It's really neat the way they applied it. I'm not really seeing any bleeding going on, anything like that. It's really nicely applied, even on the legs. Got that really nice gloss paint to it. Although I do wish they could have did a better job with the knee joints. Maybe painting it or something like that, or at least making the plastic at least similar to the same color. At least I like the way they designed the hair bangs, just the hair itself. Where if you I keep tearing off her front bangs, but yeah, I like how instead of making this all one piece, they've integrated at least two separate joints to articulate the hair a little bit better. Put her head back on. I'll get to the neck joint and all that stuff. Um, Another thing I want to touch on too. Another thing I want to touch on too is the scope design that they did for the musculature of this figure. So Mirko in the show, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly this whole time, but this character in the show is she's a pretty fit character. Like she's very muscular, and it just I like that. It just shows more of just how not only like when she's in action, but before you even get to see what she can do, it's like you can tell like okay, this character is probably going to be quite powerful in some way or the other. Because like even when you look at the legs, you're like, especially like she's a bunny, she's a freaking rabbit. So she's like she's got to have some rabbit powers. So like she's definitely strong in the legs for sure. Thigh power. But yeah, I like how they've actually sculpted in the shoulder joint. Like she's very toned. Like this character is very toned in the show. So I like how they actually sculpted that in. She has some really nice triceps here. It's just really nice attention to detail that they did. I'm glad you guys can. I hope you guys can see that too. Yeah, this figure's freaking cut. Pretty cool. Even like her abdominal area, like you can see her abs and everything. Pretty cool. Pretty cool touch. Another thing I want to touch on, instead of putting her eyelashes, because she has some really long eyelashes in the show, instead of sculpting that on the faceplate itself, they've actually sculpted it on the hairband. I like what they did there, so it's not in the way. That would be a pain to be fighting to get around that all the time. But yeah, it's a nice little touch there with the design. I will say, and it's not too much of a problem with the bangs too, but and it could just be my copy. Um, the hairline is quite noticeable. It doesn't really line up all the way, and I do push it in as much as I can, and you can still see quite a bit of the separation there, although it is hid somewhat pretty good by the ears themselves. Let me put her body back on. Here we go. But yeah, I want to show you guys the base plates right quick. Well, just the design and the neck peg. What's been kicking my butt in this review. But yeah, on the faceplate, you guys can see that it's just a simple two pegs here. All it does is just slot in. And at the top here, they've got two slots for the bang piece. So two slots in the bottom for the faceplate, and then two more bigger ones at the top for the bang piece. Pretty good. So on the neck, it's just a simple ball joint on each end, a double ball joint, and it's just L shaped. Pretty simple design, but at the same time, it works. It works really well. And what they've done is, let me pop her head out pretty easy. They've actually, this camera, the focus here, they've actually cut a little bit of the neck joint here to give you a little bit more range looking up. So I do like that they did that. Although, because they did that, it does have the neck prone to coming out. I say neck, but really the head. Like you guys see, like I'm trying to do this review for you guys, and she just keeps losing her head or her freaking bottom body. Like her whole body just falls apart. Just falls right out of there. But we're going to continue on with this review. I want you guys to see what you can possibly be getting yourselves into if you want this figure, because that's what this is for. Again, you spend your hard-earned money, and you want to figure out exactly what it is that you're getting yourselves into. Like, how is this figure doing in somebody else's possession? This is what it's for, you know? Pop that back in, and I have changed the faceplate back to her, to me, like a little chill face. Pretty cute. But yeah. All right, guys. Now, move on to my final thoughts of this figure, because I got quite a bit to say. Alrighty, guys. Here's my final take on this figure. Here's my final thoughts. But overall, especially rating, I would give this figure a solid 8 out of 10. And it's not because of my particular copy of this figure here, but I do wish they could have implemented the upper torso and the pretty much the back of the figure a little bit better. Especially has that hole cut out in the back. I don't like when you pretty much articulate the figure downwards. It has this matter of fact. Yeah, I don't like how I'll get on that too. So leave that there. But I don't like when you bend the figure down all the way. Like you're getting ready to some really nice poses here, and all it does is just show the back. Like, what if you're taking photos from the back, like I mentioned before, and all it does is just show this ugly gap, even with the hole? I wish they could have just included like a second piece that doesn't have that hole in it. We can swap that out. That would have been nice. Nope, this is what we get. And again, I don't really know too much what to expect from Revoltech. This being my first figure, other figures could be even much better designed than this one, but I just wish this could have been gone about a little differently. That's just my gripe here. even when you're posing her up. Because this gap isn't too bad in my opinion because it's actually being hit by her breasts. Um, the bottom where it meets the crotch area, that's ugly. Like you're looking up, like it just an ugly gap there. Also, this thigh area, like I wish they could have just like sculpted it the same as the left leg. That's so weird that there's this weird misalignment there with this figure. I don't understand. And even the joints, like I don't understand, especially this knee joint here. I don't understand why that's like an off plastic. Like, why not just make it a darker blue to somewhat blend in a little bit better, even if you couldn't paint it? And even the ankle joints here, like I got unfortunately like the best and the worst. Like I got the best ankle joint here on the left leg, which is seems to be really tight. It just needs to be oiled a little bit to loosen it up a little bit. And then I have this monstrosity which pretty much is falling apart already. And it came out the package like this. This is my first time like actually like messing with this figure since I got it for this review. Like it's just been sitting like on display. Like it's safe. It's not in anywhere where it's harmful or anything like that, where plastic can like degrade that fast. Like this figure just came out not too long ago. But even like the way the neck is designed up here, this cutout, like I understand where they were coming from, and the bangs keep coming out. But I understand where they were coming from. But that cutout there, it just makes the head kind of pop out a little easier. So it's like I'd be careful when I'm doing any type of posing. Let me put the bangs back in real quick. But yeah, these are my little gripes here, and I've yet to see anybody really touch on it at all. It's like I think this is just one of those figures where people are just really excited just to have the figure because it's a nice figure. Like it's a gorgeous figure. Like it looks just like Mirko from the anime, which is real nice. But it's like this little quick gripe here. It's like people get super excited about a certain character. It's like they just overlook the QC issues about things. Like you know what, I still like it, and it's just them being biased. But again, it's all our opinions. You spend your hard on money on this figure, and it's like, hey, if it's good enough for you, that's fine. You know, it just sometimes when I'm spending my hard on money on these figures, like I would just expect more. That's all. But I know I like the box design. The box design is really nice. It's not too flashy. It's straight to the point. Lets you know, hey, this character from this specific anime. This is what this figure is all about. Um, I do like their attention to detail when it came to the scope, as far as like her musculature, because they could have just said the heck with it and just gave her like your generic woman body. Nope, they actually incorporated like her being really fit. She's really strong. She's a really strong character, especially in the legs. That's her whole thing because she's got bunny power. She'll kick the heck out of the enemies and freaking decimate the land. But yeah, that's my take on this figure. Again, I only paid $79 for this figure when it came out, when I pre-ordered it. Unfortunately, prices have gotten pretty crazy with this figure. I've seen these prices go from $100 all the way up to 200. It just depends on where you're trying to get this figure from. So if you are able to get this figure for a decent price that's in your price range, I would highly recommend, even with my gripes. Like this is still a figure. I'm gonna go and try to fix the little issues that I'm seeing because I do like the figure. It's fixable. It's not the end of the world, but if you're able to get this figure for a decent price, I highly recommend getting it. It's that good. Like I believe so far, this is the best Mirko figure we have articulation wise, but I'm sure there will be probably more of this character to come later on down the road. We'll just have to see. But that pretty much wraps up this review. As always, I appreciate my small fan base. You know, I'm a new YouTuber here, new toy review YouTuber. I haven't been doing this for so long at all, but be sure to like the video. That helps YouTube's algorithm, get my video out more, and subscribe if you would like to see more, because I have a lot more figures to review in my collection. Not only the ones in my collection, but also the ones that I'm continuing to add to my collection on top of that, just like Mirko here. But until then, guys, take care.